And I got to remind everybody that this is we are simply documenting our journey to take $250, turn it into $1 million in trading. Okay. We're going to have wins, we're going to have losers, or should I say profits and losses, right? Let's make sure we cover that. It's profits and losses. But we just want to document the journey. So nothing we say here is financial advice. We can't make recommendations. We are not licensed financial advisors, none of that stuff. So just understand this is just us sharing what we learn as we learn it a lot of times, or just after. And also that, just documenting the journey, like I said. So I'm actually just about to get into a trade. I'm going to share my screen. And then we got Stephen here and Michael. We're going to get into some different stuff. But let me share my screen on this trade, and I'll tell you why I'm going to do it. So you can see right now, this is Euro USD, and actually it dropped down here. I was going to get it when it was down here. However, I was in the middle of setting up the stream. So, but I'm looking at this, and this is a support floor. I should say this is a what we call a demand zone, and the candle is currently inside that demand zone. Even though it did break through, I'm expecting it's going to go up a little bit here. So I'm going to wait until it pulls back a little further to the back of that demand zone, and then I'm going to pull the trigger on that trade. So let me just get it set up on my side. No, let's do this. That's the part you should see. And so I want to make sure I'm on Euro USD and bring that over here. And now I'm just waiting. So I'm going to watch that. I'm not going to pull the trigger just yet because I want to make sure that I'm getting the most profit in there with the least amount of potential drawdown. And so when we talk about drawdown, and I know, Mike's experienced this a lot, as have I, right? We get in, and instead of it going up like we're thinking it's going to go, it goes down first. So that goes to drawdown. And at some point, you got to say, like, okay, is this going to continue in this direction, right? So drawdown can be a concern, but at the same time, it is a natural part of trading Forex. Now, it goes in reverse too, by the way, because I could be saying, hey, I think this is going to continue to go down, and instead it goes up, right? So the drawdown is call it a draw up. I don't care what you want to call it. It's the same thing. It means I go into the negative, and I'm not really interested in going into the negative. So here it goes. It's coming down a little bit more. It's a little further. I want to get it into this candle area, and then I'm going to pull the trigger on that. And literally, I've got my account set for just one click buy. As soon as I click, boom, it'll be in. So I'm just waiting for that moment, and we'll take it. Now, there's a couple of things, and there it goes. So I'm in the trade now. And so I took it as a buy, which means I believe it's going to go up. And so now what I need to do is I need to set my stop loss and my take profit lines, and then plan that I'm correct. All right, so let's go here. So I got my take profit line set. And now for my stop loss. Now, just so y'all know, so what I did was I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, I think it's going to go up, and I think at most it's going to go to the 66. That would be ideal for me. But I don't know that it's quite going to go there. Let me look at any other lines of resistance here. And as I go across and I look at historically, where were the buyers and sellers? Here, everybody was buying, right? And it bought up for a ways. So there's no other lines over here that tell me, hey, anything's going to happen. But I've got the 200 moving average here, and I've got the 66 moving average here, and the 20 moving average, the blue line up here, and the 10 moving average, the white line. They're all telling me usually the 200 is a pretty strong line of resistance, so it usually bounces off of that, but not necessarily. All right, it could go through. So what I'm really looking at is what's going to stop it. And I'm on the 1 hour chart. And I'm getting into this now. We're going to have a discussion, of course, but I'm getting into this just because I was jumping on a trade and I was ready to do it, like I said, just before we went into the stream. And so in setting up the stream, I didn't get the opportunity to get down here where I wanted, but that's okay. It was still within that demand zone, this green block area, this green line section where I wanted to buy it. Now, I could have bought it here if I had waited, which would have been a little bit better, but that's all right. All this means is I bought it about here, and now that it's down here, I'm in what's called drawdown, right? So I'm negative on the trade right now, but as it goes up, it will go, and I'll go into positive. But here's some of the other things I'm looking at. I'm looking at the RSI down here. So the RSI is the purple line. All right, I want to see which direction that's headed. Right now, it's sort of headed 315. It's kind of like going sideways, which means it's not really going up or down. So what I want to do is I want to see some trends here. Let's look at the 45-minute. 45-minute, it looks like the RSI is heading down. I don't necessarily like that. When I go to the 30-minute, it's kind of, again, 315. Now this is encouraging. Now, I already got into this trade, and Einstein just called this trade now and says it's going up. So it gives me TP1 right here at 1.1875 and TP2 at 1.1888. I don't know that it's quite going to hit TP2, but my TP1 is in here where I had planned to take profit. So if Einstein's correct and I am correct, then we're going to do well. If not, well, we see what happens. But go to the 15, and the RSI is definitely pointing down. It's hitting Jerome. Jerome is the yellow line, right? And it's sort of bouncing. If the question is it going to go below it or stay above it? I want it to stay above and sort of bounce back. We get the 5-minute, and 5-minute, same thing. It's sort of bouncing. Jerome is just a little bit above RSI right now, but we'll see. RSI is they're bouncing with each other, right? They're sort of flowing with each other here. I'll go one more. Here, the RSI is below Jerome. Jerome again is the yellow line. RSI is the purple. Okay, so on the short term, looks like it's going to go down. If I go back to the 30, which is, let's see, yeah, 30 looks like this 200 is potentially holding. By the way, we're in the last few minutes of this candle. This is we're on the 30-minute, and this candle, it looks like it's probably going to close below the 200, and yeah, and it did close below the 200, and of course below this zone, which means on the 30-minute it flipped my zone. So this would now be what we call a supply zone. Looking up here, yeah, it looks like it wants to continue to go down. So let me take one more look here at the 3, the 5. Yeah, those are sort of holding. 15. $45 and $30. All right. So in this particular example, I have a choice, right? So I'm on the 1 hour. I bought it here. I could jump out now, take a loss, right? And if it rebounds, I can buy it as it's coming back up.
Right.
If it continues to go down, then I think it's going to stop at the 200. Do I want to ride it down to the 200, take that loss, and then try and take the win back or the profit back up? No, not necessarily.
Only if you have to.
So I'm probably going to jump out of this, but before I do, I really want to look at what's happening here. Because here's the thing, you can jump out, and all you do when you jump out is you guarantee that loss, right? Now, it's not a big loss right now. It's less than $2. But I'd have to make it up on the other side. So that's why I'm looking at where is this really going? What is that trend? That's down. That's down. They're all below. That's below. Yeah, everything's pointing down. So I am going to do that. So now let's watch this. So that was let's call it a $2 lesson, right? But what we just did is, and happy for you guys to jump in when if you had a comment on this, but I know that this could continue to go up. It could continue to go down. The reason I bought there, and let me go back to my 1 hour, which is where I started this. The reason I bought when it was in this zone is that it had, this is a support, a level of support. And you can see this candle did not close in,
right.
It didn't break through the zone. It broke through, but it stayed in the zone. This candle stayed in the zone, right? So when I get in here, I'm like, all right, so this zone is holding, which means there's some buyers here that are not allowing it to go down lower. And so that's why I said, okay, this is probably going to start to reverse and go back up. We've got the trend. The trend was down, which is kind of obvious, right? But going back, usually in areas of support, you're going to find that, like this demand zone, in the back of that demand zone, you've got to bounce up. And we did. This candle certainly bounced up. It went all the way up here. So had I jumped in earlier, I would have taken it all the way up. This same one, I could have taken this one up here for a profit. All right. So now what I think is going to happen is if it comes down any further, okay, we're in the 1 hour and we are at, we've got, you can see over here, 26 minutes left, right? And with just under 26 minutes left, I don't know where this is going to close. This could close right here and then turn, or it could come all the way down, like I said, to the 200. Because I don't know, I'm going to wait. I'll make up the $2. It wasn't a big deal. But the point was, we want to look for these walls. And I like to take the back wall, typically close to the back wall of a zone, and then take it in the other direction when it bounces up. So Stephen, what are your thoughts on that? I know you're not feeling super well today, but you've seen this, you've seen Donnie talk about this, and what did you see here? What were your thoughts?
I mean, well, I would have pulled the trigger on it, pushed the button. And again, you're going to stay with it for a while. And oftentimes it will recover. Mm-hmm. And if you have that patience, you won't have that immediate loss. The challenge is it can go either way. But it often will bounce back where you won't have a loss or it will be minimized.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly.
It's, once again, it's not perfect every single time, but the majority of the time, and that's what's key.
Yeah. So we'll see as it goes, because right now it's still sort of hovering in this area. Right. And it could be that I could have just waited and not taken that $2 loss. Like, soon as I hit that sell, I locked in that $2 loss, right? It's there, it's on the mark. I can't change that. But what I've gotten to the point of doing is, if I see a lot of really strong signals, like if I was going down to the 45, the 30, and it looked like it was turning around, like right now the 30 is pointing up. Okay, so I'd say, okay, well maybe I'll hold on a little longer. And look at the 15, same thing. It's now above Jerome. Look at the 5, right? So and it's certainly turned around over here. So go back to the 1 hour. All right, so now it's almost back to where I got in.
Right.
So I could have waited. The reason I didn't, like I said, was one, it closed below, this zone. Basically
Correct.
flipped the zone. I could have changed the color of this zone to red, and actually I should. That was right there on that candle. But I'm going to wait until this candle goes all the way through and closes, and then I'm going to know, right? But my philosophy there was, look, I could, like I said, I could ride it all the way down, take a larger drawdown. My account would have held it, no big deal. I would have bounced off of here and worked its way up. I would have been in the trade a lot longer, right? Because I don't know how long that turnaround would take. And I couldn't guarantee that the 200 would stop it if this zone didn't, right? So I could have gone further into drawdown potentially. So I would rather cut my potential loss and then pick it up as I do see the upward trend.
And you've cut your loss, and then you're now available to make another trade somewhere else.
That's right.
Whether it's continuing here, or you may have an opportunity that maybe indicate that it's going to be significantly more positive.
Yeah.
Whether you're buying or selling.
Yeah. Definitely, because I can go to gold. I can look at, and that's one of the other things. We're in Euro USD now, and that was just because I saw the trade. I saw it coming down. I knew it was getting close to exhausted, and I saw this zone, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go in. And like I said, we're going to share the good and the bad with you guys. So you're not going to have a profitable trade every time. But if you're at 70, 75, 80%, and you cut your losses when you potentially have a loss, that's not a bad place to be, right? So I've also been, one of the things I've been doing is I don't want to say cutting my profits, but like if I was taking this up, I know at some point we're going to get to the 66, right? And I can see, the other thing I can see is this 20, the blue 20 moving average is heading in the direction of the 66 moving average. So they're going to meet somewhere around here, let's say. And when they do, when the 66 is above the 20, that usually signifies a downtrend, right? And we're already in a downward trend. So it could go substantially further. What I was thinking we'd have is we'd still have a bounce up. I'd get a decent profit here and then go into another trade. What I am definitely trying to do is reduce the time frame I'm in trades. That way, I want to be in a trade for under an hour. Sometimes it might be 5 minutes, right? But I want to have shorter trades. One, because I'm doing a lot of other things, right? Yeah. I've got a whole bunch of appointments today with different clients and team members and stuff like that, so I have to be freed up, and I can't just sit there and watch and say, okay, what's going to happen? So when I do my 2 hours of trading a day, one is during this time, and so I'm looking, what can I find? So while I'm watching this. All right, and we've got 19 minutes left in this candle. It's still down lower. All right, still below the zone. We'll see where it goes. Let's look at some of these others. Let's look at UJ. I had marked these up earlier. So on UJ, we already have, we had a cross here. So the 200 moving average is above the 66, which is above the 20, which that typically would signal, yes, it's going down. And when you look, that occurred right around here. This is already going down. So it continued, right? I don't know that I'm going to see a good, because these moving averages are so far apart, I'm not
Right.
sure what is really going to turn around. Could this be it? Maybe, maybe not. All right. What I can say is that this zone right here so far has held, right? Because you can see it came down, it dropped, but it every single time it closed, except for this time. This time it did close below it. All right. But I didn't, at the time, I didn't have this zone. This zone was created by this candle right here, this reddish white one, and then the following subsequent green candles going up. Right. And Stephen, why you tell me, why did I put this zone here? Don't tell me, I should tell everybody else.
Well, you put it there because you had, it was going down, it popped back up, so it created that zone.
Yeah.
With that last candle, and it's a small zone. It's not big, but I guess if somebody's looking at it and you're saying, well, maybe I should do it, maybe I shouldn't. Sometimes there are greater indications that you have a larger zone versus small one like that.
Yeah.
But when and then you're going to look at other indications to see what else would give me that I should buy or that I should sell, within it. And that's what we're learning here.
Yeah. Well,
you're looking to take, some people will take ones where you have a smaller zone, and there are other people that are just going to wait for a larger zone.
Yeah. And when I drew it because these zones, by the way, the zones are where there are either buyers or sellers.
Right.
And so how do I know that there's buyers here? Buyers is green, right? How do I know that there's buyers there? Well, because this came down and it stops here and it turns around. And the turnaround was twice as large as that candle that dropped. Twice
Correct.
as large or more, right? And it was significantly more. So I know that there's buyers in this zone. All right, that's a pretty strong, because it went up substantially, right? So I know that this zone has a lot of buyers in it, and that's where they think the point is to buy. Right up here, same thing on the other side. We've got sellers, right? So my zones are okay. The sellers are here, so if I get up to here, I know it's going to start to come down more than likely. It's coming down. So the sellers are here, buyers are here. And so when it gets close to here, I know I should be thinking about buying, meaning going up. So this candle is wild though, because this candle right here pierced both zones, right? If I go and I look at this here, you can see this candle went well below the zone, never closed below the zone, and it went above this zone. Again, never closed above it. And then, so I look at this and I'm like, all right, so this is good. I do think it's going to come back down to this zone, especially since it's about to hit the 20 moving average.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, it did pass through the 20 moving average multiple times. So the 20 isn't necessarily holding. but there's a chance that it will and then come back down. Because it didn't hold these 2 times, I'm not going to buy it up. I'd rather wait and see what it does. Although I'm looking at the RSI, and you can see the RSI is pointing,
Right.
it's like, 115. It's pointing up. So I could look at some others, but this one I would rather wait on a little bit. Now, if we were down here, I'd say, okay, it hasn't closed below. Let's take it up, right? So then that's what I would do a buy. But I'm not ready to do anything with this one. What I am going to do is I'm going to put an alert right around here. So as it gets there, I'm going to know, and I could say, all right, it's getting close to my zone. Let me take a look at everything. And that's when I'll look down, see where things are headed. All right. So let's go to gold for a minute, because I marked up gold earlier. Gold is interesting. So we had another cross over here, definitely had some crosses, but gold right now is coming down, but you can see, again, look at the zones, right? This supply zone up here is where the sellers are, and over here is where the buyers are. And there's another level over here where there are buyers. Okay. So I'm looking at these and saying, all right, is it staying within this range? And it did. It tested this twice, this back wall twice. Now it's come down. It has not, it's tested this back wall, and it's tested the 66, but the 66, it hasn't gone through. So the 66 held. So on gold, I'm waiting until we get to just above this zone. And I'm going to look at what the indications are, so that when it's in this zone or the 66, I can take it up. Make sense?
Correct.
So let me set that alert. And that's it. So once it hits there, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to look at things and say, do I want to take this buy? And it's going to be a buy up, right? And if not, I don't. So that's kind of the neat thing. When we're looking at these trades, we're taking, I guess you could say, an educated guess, right? Because it's never going to be a guarantee. But if I were looking at my charts as this was coming up, and I knew that we had the zone here, the first time it hit that zone, I would have planned to take it down. And I would have been right. So once it hit that back wall, I like back walls. So this is the back wall of this one, because it goes through, and this is this is sort of the front wall. This is what it hits first. And then the back wall. Once it hits the back wall, I think it's coming down. That's when I love to take trades on back walls.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And same thing down here.
Right.
So you
what
can
we're
see
looking at is,
yeah.
We're getting indications, and when you can get, 2, 3, 4 additional ones that indicate it's going to go the same way. Statistically, what we're seeing is that they're correct. That's the way to describe it.
Yeah.
But it's not just that it's 50-50. It's significantly higher. So the majority time, what everything's indicating is it ends up going that way. And that's the key factor. That's the real key takeaway.
Yep. I think my last 4 trades, the only one I lost is the one that I got out of earlier.
Yeah.
And again, I could have stayed. In fact, while we're watching this, I get the alert set anyways. Let's go back to UJ. Where is it? So it's still below.
Right.
With 9 minutes left in the candle, 9.5 minutes. So I could have taken it down and stayed in, but there's always a possibility I could be wrong about something and it could continue. Well, here's some other lines of support down here or resistance, but they're way too low. Right? I don't want to take a loss all the way down here. Right? If I stayed in long enough and it went up to here, well, great. I'd still end up in profit. But instead, I could just get in when it's on its way up down here and take the profit all the way up. Whole lot more profit that way,
Yes.
right? So that's kind of,
Right.
that's where I am. So and it's staying down below that candle. So it looks like that candle is going to, well, we don't know because we still have 8 minutes. But if the candle does stay below it, then hey, this zone would then turn to red. And what I do want to do though is on these lines here. So let me go back to see where these lines are from. So this particular one was from this high way back here on Thursday. All right, so I'm actually going to remove this one. And wait, hold on here. Thought I removed it. Oh, this is a different one. All right, what I want to look at is what else is below this. So let's say that the candle does close below here. All right, so I know I've got the 66, I mean, it's the 200 here. But let's look, this is the next zone. It was coming down, got to here, and then you can see that little candle, and all of a sudden it turns all the way around and it marches up. Okay, a little mini correction in here in the zone, but it marches up. So I'm gonna put this here. And so if it breaks the 200 coming down, then this is the next spot that there's likely to be buyers to hit reverse on this. Now, kind of interesting though, where am I? I would be in profit right now. And we're at 6 minutes still left in the candle.
Right.
And I noticed on it at that 30-minute mark, that's where the 200 on the 30-minute time frame, the 200 is right at the baseline, at the back wall there. So that's an additional confirmation that that's probably going to be where it turns around.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll keep watch and see what happens. We still have 6 minutes left in this candle, but that's going to be the key. And you're right. That 200 moving average on the 30-minute is a little further away when I jumped out, but where it had already broken a different 200, I forget which one it was now. I was a little concerned there. Maybe it would have been the 3. It had broken a different level. Oh yeah, it had broken it over here on this candle because it closed below. And then the 1. So right now, technically, I would be, well, I'd be like right there at break even if I had stayed. So we'll see where it goes. I would not have made any money at this point. In order to make any money, I mean, anything here and above would have been profit, just not significant. Once I got up to here, it would have been worthwhile. So yeah, it's watching that and making that determination. So what about you, Mike? What are you looking at trades right now?
I think Mike had to look at something. Let me bring something. You back,
What?
Mike?
Yeah, sorry, I accidentally hit the mute button on my headset. My apologies.
I was wondering.
No, I was saying the Euro USD is what I'm exclusively looking at for the Forex pairs for the rest of the week. I'm not looking at anything else.
Interesting. Okay.
I had a very good day yesterday. And I mean, just to put it on, I did trade Forex pairs. I did trade Euro USD live.
Yeah.
And was 6 for 7 yesterday on Euro USD. So did good there.
There you go.
On the paper trading side, I killed it yesterday. Yeah, like let's see, I had a NAS 100 for $985. I had a Euro GPY loss for $1.77, I had a gold win for 4,641. And then I had another US oil profit of 1,012.50. So that was my yesterday.
Nice yesterday, my friend.
Excellent.
Yep. And it was just trusting my structure, trusting my numbers, and being very patient, only going into ones that I was very confident on. The only trade I went in on yesterday that I wasn't 100% on was Euro GPY. I liked it, but I hadn't done the full markup on multiple time frames. I'd only done a markup on one time frame and got an alert and jumped in. And I was like, yeah, this looks good. And I did it. And that was the only one I lost on.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was. But needless to say, I mean, that's what it's showing me again, too, like we've talked about before. That's not even using big lot sizes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
if I have a 1,000 ballpark, if I can have my balance, if I can take this, and again,
There's no if.
yes, no, but what I mean is like what I'm going to structure it as is this is I liked what Donnie was saying on the call last night too, is making sure you use some of that money to celebrate and make it tangible. So what I'm going to do is my first 1,000 made, I'm going to take out probably about 250 of it. And use that towards something that either I want or something that I can do, maybe even just a nice dinner. But I'll take about 200, 250 of it out to be able to do that. And then once I run that up to 1,000, I'm going to start doing the exact same strategy and lot sizes that I was doing yesterday. But it really confirmed with me that my issue on gold that I had the week before, I've had a very good week. My issue with gold I had last week was primarily balance related. I couldn't sustain the market fluctuations with my balance, even with smaller lot sizes, because there were occasional larger swings last week with some volatility. And I got crashed out when I shouldn't have, because I was setting stop losses proper yesterday. I was setting take profits. Almost everything was take profit 1, unless I saw a very strong trend. Then I would mark it to take profit at 40 pips rather than 20 pips. But I kept everything at that range.
Nice.
And it was just win, win, win. So a lot of confidence restored. It was there anyway, but I needed to do it to get the results, just to give me that additional pat on the back of, yeah, this is why you need to make sure you have the proper balance to support the lot sizes and support the stop losses and take profits. And if you just wait, like even right now, I've had a couple of this morning that were up 50 pips, down 70 pips, up 40 pips, down 60 pips. I know it's coming back. And also on some of the Forex pairs, interestingly, so I'm not as active in it, I'm heavily playing the 4-hour time frame.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's pretty much set it, confirm it, look for the entry on the 1 hour or the 30, play the 4, and just set it and walk away. Don't even watch it. Get back to doing everything else you're doing. And then come back and just see how you're doing. Check in on it every like half an hour or so. Or wait for the alert that says it's been executed.
And that's funny because I've gone shorter time frames, like I was talking about earlier, just because my windows are, once I get into certain meetings, I'm like, I am tied up. And
yeah,
it's just the way that it works for me.
And I'm going to be doing that more on gold specifically, but I'm going to tie that into the training after the training on Thursday evening. Where last night we went over trend lines a lot, which was very eye-opening.
Yes.
And as we go over how the trend lines play with the other structure, and I can pretty much anticipate what we're going to go over, but I want to hear it from Donnie. And I am going to paper trade the hell out of that strategy.
Nice.
For the next like week and see what happens.
Awesome.
I know what's going to happen, but and then if that works, I am going to if it works the way I expect it to, I'm going to do the 5-minute and the 15-minute using trend lines significantly over the next like week and see if it does what I expect it's going to do.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So excited.
And that's fantastic because your experimentation, especially experimenting in paper trading,
Mhm.
right? Because there's no chance of loss there because it's all
Right.
it's fun money in a way, but you're learning through that, and you're also doing real trades as well,
Mhm.
meaning live trades. They're all real trades, but live trades where you can actually profit or lose. So I just to close out, I just wanted to go back to see where we were on the Euro USD because that's the one that I took that short loss on for a
Yep.
couple dollars, and it did close. The candle closed below my zone, which changes my zone to a supply zone rather than a demand zone, and so I'm going to watch this. But even if I look at the RSI right now, the RSI is pointing lower. This is still following that trend. And if I go down and I'm just looking at the RSIs, looks like it made sense for me, at least in that point, to get out. I've got to get ready for my next meeting at noon, and I got to do a lot of work for that just to make sure that everything is set. And then I can take another look. But I will be watching these, and I've got my alerts set for,
Yep.
like I said, on gold, which is nowhere near my alert right now, but that's okay. It just bounced off the 66, and here it comes again. All right. So although the 200 is here, so that's going to be interesting. It might even be, and I'm going to move my alert up a little.
Did you see the crude oil inventories news?
I did not.
No.
So previous negative 3.5 million, forecast was negative 0.2 million, actual 8.5 million.
Plus
So
or
that's
minus.
it. Plus. So that's
That explains this drop.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, because we got
Have
a whole lot
you-
of extra crude.
I read recently about how those numbers were recently
Yes.
compiled.
Right.
Then you read the same thing.
No, you said, yeah, that one you sent me, that was interesting.
Well, okay, then
Yeah.
that's what it was. I
Yep.
am glad I'm glad I sent it to you because now you're looking at it.
Yep, your timing was impeccable.
Basically, what it said, Don, is that their calculation was taken from like one area of the country of output and didn't calculate another area to get the real number, which was significantly lower.
Ah, interesting.
So you'll see, like right before that news was announced, there was a decent drop in oil from about 65 and let's say 65, 70-ish, 73, and it dropped down to 64, 76. And right now it's in a downtrend, but it's a little bit of consolidation temporarily, but we'll see. That's on the 30-minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the 15 right now, but
I need to place an oil order tomorrow or the next day, and I'm not liking the fact that it's another $50 more is what it's going to roughly cost me because of this. So I'd love to see it tank today, and I can order it today. I'm going to be selfish as hell. I don't care if it tanks today and just restores tomorrow. Just give me my day.
Yep, exactly. Tanks today, and then you get to take it back on the other side.
Every $5 equates to about $50 increase, just so you know, from what I've seen.
Every $5
Wow.
in market price equates to about $50 in a tank of oil.
Per 100 gallons, yep.
Oh, 50 per 100 gallons? Really?
So it's like because I
got a 300-gallon tank.
Yeah, we have like a 200-gallon tank, but it was partially full, so we got a 100-gallon fill last time.
Okay.
The last two times, we got a 100-gallon fill, and one of them, the first one was 350, and that was a month ago. The one on February 2nd was 400, and the difference in price was about $5.
Wow.
So
that's pretty neat how you can relate that.
Yep. So that's where I can kind of predict what the pricing is going to be to some capacity here. Because yeah, let's see, depending on what they did on the day, on the second, it was similar. Actually, it's similar to where it is now. I should probably get the just see if it drops. It's going to be closer to 400. I just don't want it to go up 50 more. This is my last. This is probably my last oil or run more for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we're using right now in the middle of winter time 125, 150 gallons a month.
We're going through 100 gallons every 16 days.
Whoa. Okay. We had no idea how much oil we we're going to need for this house because, like I said, we bought it last March, so we didn't know what the winter was going to be like. Now we know, but either way, so fun stuff. I'm going to keep watching these. Come back to it. I like Euro USD as well. I'm not ready to jump back into that one yet. I'll let it percolate down for a bit, and then I'll take it up when the time comes. But I'll continue to look at the others as well. And gold, a little ways away from my mark.
Yep, I had set my stop loss to double the ATR on this because it's a Forex pair, and I'm still within. I haven't been stomped out yet, so I'm just waiting for the rebound on it because I had got in at it lower. By the way, last thing before we get out of here is, you know how I had put those pins in, like we had talked about that, and we're looking at it was accurate within 30 minutes.
Nice.
Twice.
Okay.
Twice. I wanted to ask you about that. That's pretty cool.
So I'm liking this prediction tool.
Now, is that just another indicator you can add in?
Yeah, so it's called, and give this guy credit for it, but it's called SMA prediction. If you go to indicators and you type it in up top, SMA prediction, and then it's by a guy named Vladimir Kamba. And just do SMA, that should be it, right? Prediction. There you go, top one.
Oh.
Get rid of the S. There you go, top one.
Very nice.
And then you just got to set it like we did for the others, where you set it for the 20, the 66, and the 200. And needless to say, it worked. I like it. I like it because it's been really accurate.
That's pretty cool. So I'll play around with that a little bit and take a look.
So what I'm doing, just so you know, I'll look to see when the alert is. I'll look to see when it's going to be, and then I'll go create alert. And I'll create an alert for, let's say, if it's the 20 crossing the 200 or the 66 crossing the 200, I'll set an alert for when the 66 crosses up over the 200, because I already know the 20 is good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get the alert. Now I know I have in my alert says E3 crosses in effect, and I'll just take a look at it and sometimes jump in right away. Sometimes wait. Yesterday I made like 80 pips by jumping in on a 30-minute by seeing when immediately after the cross happened.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. It's amazing how accurate that cross really is.
Yep.
So when we know that that's happening, perfect. And are you primarily doing it, doing your alerts for the cross on a 30, or are you doing it in other time zones?
No, I'm mostly doing it on the 1 hour, but I am looking at the 32.
Okay.
I'll do 4 hour, 1 hour, and 30-minute. They're the only ones that I'm setting the alerts on.
Okay, cool.
I will do it on gold on lower time frames once I get back to it, but right now I'm focused on that 4 hour, 1 hour, and then using 30 for my entries for the 4 hour and 1 hour.
Nice. We'll have to go into that more in tomorrow's episode. Today we are set. So, so remember, guys, this is not financial advice. These are not recommendations. This is just us documenting our profits, yes, our losses sometimes, and our knowledge journey. And we just want to share this stuff with you. So hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you find it helpful, and hopefully in the end it makes you a more profitable trader, just because you see our experience, good or bad, right? And don't forget, hey, join us in this quest. You get access to some incredible tools, phenomenal education, and great systems. and plus you get Einstein, right? So when you're on the quest, you
Yeah.
get Einstein, you get all kinds of good stuff.
You get to
So-
have of money in the future just by being intelligent, but you just learn how to have an absolute blast learning something that's going to help your family for generations, potentially
Right.
even help your children learn how they can do the same thing that you're doing.
Spot on.
It's an incredible opportunity, and just the biggest thing I can say right now is I put a post up on Facebook yesterday, and I'm going to paraphrase Don Schuler too, but he's like, the hardest thing is the start.
Just gonna
The
do
number
it.
one, yep. So that's what I challenge everyone to do. Just stop thinking, stop waiting, stop pondering for the right moment, jump in. You don't have enough money to fund your account? Great, let's paper trade.
Yeah.
Let's
Because
just
you're
get
going to
going.
learn all the same stuff paper trading. Treat
Yep.
it like real money. That's all.
And where
And-
I am, yeah, and where we are 4 or 5 months from where we were, I mean, you're just
Oh.
going to grow. You're just going to grow.
That's right.
So
Right,
let's
yeah.
go. Join us.
Definitely. So yeah, go to q2am.com and say you want to be part of the quest. One of us will reach out to you, and we'll catch you all next episode tomorrow morning, approximately 10:15. So that's Thursday. I had to think about what day it is. That's Thursday morning, approximately 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. Catch y'all then.
All right.